Just.
Hey, it's 3 o'clock and we're going to call the meeting to order.
Elia. All right.
Becky, will you do
Thank
roll
you.
call, please?
Absolutely. Tom Wilson,
Here.
Dean Friel,
Here.
Jack Scroggstead,
He's
Chris
on his way.
Robertson. Chris Robertson,
Here.
Mike Pearson.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, there's nobody here for department head reports. This is not our regular scheduled meeting. Approval of minutes. If there's no changes or corrections, minutes from the December 12th, 2023 Facilities and Maintenance Committee meeting will stand as presented. Does anybody have any amendments to those meeting minutes? And they'll stand as read. The improvements update. So, Jeff, anything you'd like to highlight for your report as far as what you want to talk about with these floors and what have you? Bringing it to us?
As far as the floors here at this
Yep.
building, so I've done a little bit of research trying to see what we could do to spruce up the floors here in the Old Courts building. Came up with 2 different vendors with 3 different options. One was kind of a grinding of the floor and a finish that is supposedly a one and done. That was running around $30,000. Another option from.
That was for this complete building, all 3 floors?
It is it's all 3 floors, but it's only in the common areas, so
Right,
hallways,
yeah,
if you will.
right.
Yes, yep. The second option from him was to do more like a strip and wax, but he considered it something a little bit different than that, but that's basically what it'd be. But that would definitely need to be redone again, probably within 5 years, he suggested. That was around 15,000. So continued to look, found another guy that is looking to do a true, if you will, strip and wax of the floor that's there, and get it back into shape wherein we will have to buff it periodically to keep it in good shape. But we're looking at about $2,000 for that project. The floors, as I did just a little bit of research, looks like last time they were redone was about 84, best I can tell. So
Wow.
it's been a long time. But I really think, looking at the logo mats that we put down, just trying to spruce things up and encourage people to get in here and get a good attitude and, you know, that kind of thing as they step into the building. I think these floors getting polished up is something we ought to probably seriously look at.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with the floors is we're more conscientious now about preventative maintenance. So I think once we strip the floors and get them back to within a reason, we could do a much better job of keeping them clean and understanding that we're not just going to mop the floors and be done with it.
Yeah.
So that's a really good thing to bring up. And that's all the common areas. And that's him coming in. Is it a chemical stripper? Is it user friendly? Okay, so we're all good to go there.
Yeah, I think we see him do it. I think I've got a guy right now that could do it.
Mhm.
He's never done terrazzo. He's a little nervous. I get it.
Mhm.
You don't want to ruin it or
Yeah.
mess it
No.
up, as it were. So, but I think moving forward, if we have ourselves a floor guy, I think we could do the strip and wax,
Sure.
you know, given a
Go ahead.
little experience on it.
Given the staffing and whatnot, to be able to maintain it
Mhm.
on our own versus,
Yeah.
Having to have it
somebody
hired
else
out.
in. Yep.
okay, yeah.
Yep. Once a month kind of a thing. We do have a buffer down there. It's pretty light.
Mhm.
It's pretty old. So you may have to consider, yeah,
Right, yeah.
you may have to consider a
Probably
buffer.
84.
Yeah.
Well,
Which-
the other thing too is in looking at this, so we've done a lot of restoration work and even the marble that's on the walls is filthy.
Mhm.
And this
Yeah.
is doing the floors. But I mean, that marble out there is supposed to be a plum colored marble, and it's dingy because there's just nothing that's been done to it. So I mean,
Mhm.
and you're right, as far as sprucing things up and painting and the handrails, all the woodwork should be wiped down with lemon oil. Clean, the handrails have never been cleaned, I mean, forever as well. So
Yep.
I think this is one good step towards trying to maintain the building that we have. I mean, you can go through here and spend a week wiping all this trim work down, because I guarantee
Yeah.
it hasn't been done in 25 years.
Yep.
And it brings back, just by using lemon oil without using any finishes,
Mhm.
the lemon oil will bring back the natural finish. And
Yep.
so there's a lot of cool things that we can be, how we doing, Jack? There's a lot of great things we can be doing. This is not something that's part of our budget. I guess my biggest thing, Jeff, is we used to have a contingency fund, which we'd love to get back to sooner than later. Doesn't mean we get to spend the money, just so everyone understands. If we made a recommendation, they used to have a $120,000 contingency. We as a properties committee would go to them and say, we want to spend this money on the floors. Still got to go to finance, it's still got to go to the full board. It's still a decision made by everybody, but it's just an opportunity for us to keep doing what we're doing. So I'm hoping, what's the budget? How's our budget looking? And, you know, the snow removal budget, I'm sure that we are not anywhere near what we were. I'm just, if we can't get this approved, is there room in our budget that we could actually move on something like this? And do we still have money in the carpeting or in the flooring budget? I believe I've got money in the flooring budget this year to do Charlie's area and still have some left over. So we might be able to do it out of that if we can't do it. Jeremy, am I speaking wrong?
No, I think you're right. So actually, Becky and I just went over a lot of these numbers earlier today just to make sure in
Okay.
case something came up. And there was $35,000, I do believe that was in the flooring budget. So
But we're gonna use, I believe we're gonna use,
12,000-ish.
no, it's 19,000 of it is
Okay.
gonna be used, so we have 16 left over.
Yep.
Yes. The treasurer's office is a completely different ballgame. That's already, I mean, we've already got budget numbers for that.
No, I mean, so is it coming out of this year's budget?
My understanding was the entire treasurer remodel was a complete remodel, separate from our budgeting. That has nothing to do with us. That's from my understanding.
Okay.
Okay.
That has, yeah, I mean, they approved us to go in and we got the bids and gave them the totals, and that has nothing to do with the maintenance budget whatsoever.
Okay.
That was done completely after the fact.
Okay.
So no, the money we have left over in the budget should be like 16,000. So I'm just saying, I mean, I think that's something we should, and you know what, I don't know if it's such a great idea in the middle of winter to be buffing floors and cleaning floors. I mean,
Yeah.
I would wait until the salt season's over and maybe start in March. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my opinion. But yeah, I would think that's something we'd like to bring to the board and discuss more about it down the road.
Okay.
So, anybody else have any comments on that?
Nope, makes sense to me.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and, you know, and in the future, I mean, this carpet here, once we're starting to get the money we were asking for next year in the budget after this job with Allied, we can start getting the judges areas done with carpeting. And I think in a 3 to 5 year period, we could recarpet this room we're sitting in and get a lot of the areas completely refloored in the 5 year period with $75,000 budget. And that's what we're trying to do. So I think it's a good thing. Thank you, Jeff. And then we got the background checks and all the people that were requested to have background checks to Clay Whalen from Alec from Allied sent Becky and I a list on Monday. And Clay is going through that list currently. They had a couple of issues with some names not spelled right and a birthday being wrong, but I think they're going to work through that relatively quick so we can get going on this. I believe we're proposed to start next Monday. They were going to start this Monday, but they didn't get they didn't go through the proper channels, so we put it off for a week. We did get word that the units that we ordered are going to be, we're bumped up to the darn near the front of the line, so things are going to come in a lot quicker. The next meeting we're going to have with Allied's going to tell the tale. They sent me a schedule today. I'm going to look it over tonight. But we're also going to badge. Becky, and what Clay said was, the only thing that Clay sent back to you and I was, we're going to let the guys in at 6 o'clock in the morning on a badge and 4:30 be done so they can get in the building from 6 to 4:30. And the only thing that Clay requested, once these background checks are done and they've got their badges, if they're in any sensitive areas, that we have maintenance with them. And Jeff, I don't know what that means, and we got to clarify that with Clay, and you and I will probably sit down with Clay. But I don't know if that means if you're in the state's attorney's office, if you're in, I don't know what that means. But, and for the most part, all the stuff's going to be done in the basement. But if there's file storage down there or something, we just got to make sure that we're making sure that Clay's happy with what we're doing and where these guys are going. But these guys will be badged. And then they're hoping by June 1 to be done with everything. Everything's getting done in the basement, and all the rooftops and stuff will get done in a 2-week period. And we'll have a really good start on getting the system completely refinished. So.
Hey, Tom, I got a question. So any contractors that go into the courts building, they have to have a background check done? Any maintenance or doing any kind of work in there, or it's just because they're going to be in sensitive areas?
There's going to be in sensitive areas, and they're also going to be allowed to go into our building on a badge. And actually, the answer to that is absolutely not. They do not need to have background checks done. And we allow felons to work in our facility, but we are doing the badging system to where they're only allowed in there for certain times of the day. So if they leave, they can't get back in. But yes, as far as the sensitive stuff, like when we're doing the carpeting and what have you, Jeff's already talked with Charlie and a lot of the people that are working in the state's attorney's office of how we're going to do that to make sure when they move out of an area that there's no sensitive material there. But yes, for the most part, it's going to be electricians, low voltage guys, and then a lot of HVAC guys are going to be tearing into all the air handling stuff in the basement. We're putting Merry Christmas. What's that? Yeah, we're going to be doing all the VAVs in the basement, then all the RTUs up on the roof. And so yeah, they have to gain access to the job. And also our bailiff is very aware, and he's integral in how we get in and out of the facility.
I know the way the world is so screwed up. I just didn't know if we changed to where,
Yeah.
Just to comment on that, one of the reasons doing a background check, you might have a guy with a warrant, and that'll expose it up really pretty good there. And it's just a practice of due diligence, just something might scream out at somebody, in that background. So that's another reason to do it. Not necessarily, some people screw up and they screw up, but they're on the right track. That doesn't mean anything. But
Sure.
if you got an active guy,
For sure.
that's something we need to know about.
No, and then also anybody that comes on the job, like they don't have a badge on, that's another thing. If they're not wearing a badge, they're done. They're out the building because they have to have the badge with them at all times. And on their person. So yeah, it's not. It's not going to be overly strict, but and a lot of the people that are working there are tradespeople. I don't think there's going to be an issue with anything. They're all there just to get their jobs done as well. Is there any questions on that? So what else do we have, Jeff, to discuss?
We got the elevator here at the old courts coming up. February 12th is what we're at this point
I'm going to
scheduled
bet
with,
100
but,
on the
yeah.
on the over.
But I need to kind of touch base with Jeremy a little bit, and we got to make sure that we've got accessibility to second and third floor for those that can't get up without the elevator. Also, just trying to figure out as far as all the committees and board meetings and everything that's going on up here.
We're moving the board meetings. I've already talked to Chairman Olson. We're moving all the committee meetings and all the board meetings over to Kevin Lally's area in the new courts building.
Anything else, Jeremy, from your end as far as scheduling is concerned?
No, we just discussed the scheduling of the committee meetings and the board meeting as well, and how that kind of laid out, as Mr. Wilson just said, who knows if that's actually going to be the actual schedule.
Right.
So we're just going to have to play it by ear, and be as accommodating as possible. And if there's a plan for that to use some facilities across the street, then we can do so. But we'll just, as we talked, Jeff, we'll make sure we have proper signage and proper posting. Becky, if that's the case, we will have to make sure it's posted properly in the locations and go in that direction. So.
And I think up here, the only thing that we would have a problem with, I mean, you guys would be up here obviously, but the zoning department would be the only thing where we could put them downstairs for a period of time. But I mean, in the past, they've done this where the elevator's been out of service to where they have people call and the treasurer's office can go downstairs and meet them. I mean, it's going to be hopefully for a 3-week period, 3 to 4 weeks. I would say.
And that's what Jeff and I were discussing. I mean, we created some signage that essentially had verbiage on there, saying, area in construction, elevator out of service, for assistance, please call with the department numbers.
I would also say, Jeremy, we should look into when's voting and when's tax bills come in and make sure if there's a 6-week period of that we tell the elevator company, you can't be here. And you got to be done before this date, or you got to come here after this date, because that's more important. I mean, that's one of our big things. So.
And we've tried to work with them the best we can to
I know.
get the dates to not be as disruptive, but
I know.
we're at the will of the elevator company right now.
Yes, we are at the will of the elevator company. Then February 1st, we're starting a project in the treasurer's office. So February 1st, they're going to have their stuff moved out. We're going to have to move some filing cabinets and what have you, but then we're starting the plastering of the walls, the ceiling work, electricians, everyone's scheduled. Jeff, you want to go through all that?
Yeah, we've got plasters, painters, electricians, heating guys set up to get in and at least do inspections, if not actual work within there, just to make sure whatever might be up within the ceiling that we can't see. So yeah, new flooring. So they should be in pretty good shape when we get them back in. We're going to schedule it for the entire month of February.
Right.
So be done on the 29th and have them back in and ready to go. So.
And this is just another step in the program to try to redo departments and what have you. And then Jeff is also, we discussed, in lieu of everybody and everyone in their own department getting to pick out what paint they use and all that stuff, Jeff's gone through and picked out 4 paints that are basically what we're going to use for colors. And here's your choice.
Yeah.
Pick one of these, but we're not doing custom colors for any department or anybody. So we're going to have custom paint. I mean, Jeff's picked out, would you pick out 4 paints and 4 floors, or what'd you do for carpeting?
I'm still trying to formulate.
Oh, okay. So he's working on that to
Yeah.
where it's going to be, these are the color choices, and the flooring as well. Just so we're not having everyone pick out.
You can have anyone
Pie
you
in the
want, but it just
sky,
has to be one of
you know.
these.
Yeah. So, and then we also, go ahead.
Is it, don't mean to stir the pot, but if they're going through me,
Yep. What's that?
if the projects are going through me, we've got colors and choices for them.
Yep.
I'm thinking maybe not everything necessarily comes through me though.
Okay, like what? Like the
Um,
treasurer's office?
No, we've got that set up, but
Oh, some of these
okay.
other places?
yeah.
Well, we need to sit down and discuss that. Yeah, because we need to get that under control to where, I mean, we just got to get it to a point where we're going to have, we've talked to boss about carpeting and getting the quality of carpeting that we want. We need to limit colors and limit selections. No different than painting. We're not going to have somebody come in and paint crazy. I mean, so yes, under you, it's going to be under you. But yeah, we'll work with that. We'll work on that. How's that? So, but yeah, I agree with, I mean, we talked about this in the past. We just got to get, we got to limit things for easeability and keeping things straight when we're remodeling something or repainting something. If someone wants something repainted, we know what that color is. So, but yes, we'll work on that. Then State's Attorney's carpeting. We're starting that in March, right after February 1st.
Yeah, looking to get that going in March, trying to get boss to lay out a kind of a schedule
Okay.
best we can, not knowing how it's gonna, the carpet's gonna come up and all, but
Sure.
we can kind of schedule, we're looking to do it in thirds, if you will.
Okay.
So, and I did touch base with Kevin in his area, and we can bump the attorney or those folks over there
Sure.
temporarily as needed. So we've got that space available. Or they could go to their own conference rooms too, as those get
Sure.
done. So we'll have to nail that down a little tighter once we get a little closer.
And it's been kind of nice, this whole maintenance program and what we're looking, how we're trying to build the program. We were very reactive in the past. Oh, we need to get this fixed. We need this. We have a smell downstairs. We got to take care of this. We need to. Giving him, Jeff, the ability to schedule things, it makes a big difference because he knows what the snow schedule is. He knows what this, there's just a lot to it, and it's not fair just to throw it on our maintenance guys and say, here, we have to have this done by the end of the month. We're scheduling things, and an organization makes a big difference in this stuff, and I think it's going to go real well. So, but we'll get a handle on everything. We'll work with you.
Yep.
Does anybody have anything else?
Just something to note, just for transparency, this project, the Treasurer's Department project, Jeff and his team are general contracting this. All the expenses are below our competitive bid criteria.
Yes.
So, again, it's one of those things where some of these smaller projects are in-house and we're, making sure that we're doing everything the right way.
Yeah, that's one thing since we took over this department is we're bidding things and keeping them underneath the criteria and making sure everything's legal. So yes, absolutely, 100% above the board. So does anybody have anything else to discuss? So I'll have Becky, once we approve the schedule for this, for the project across the street, I'm gonna have them put it in all of these guys' on board, and then we'll share it with the full board as we need to. But you guys will see the schedule and you'll see the scheduled meetings. There's gonna be meetings, I think we're doing bi-weekly, and then there's gonna be, every week, there's gonna be some contractors meeting that I wanna participate in. But then there's gonna be bi-weekly meetings with Allied, and then you guys are more than welcome to show up for those. If anybody from our group can show up for those. And we'll post, no? What do you mean? Yeah, so you guys just stay away from the job meetings. That's right, we can only have 3 of us, or 2 of us.
2.
Okay, 2 at a time. Well, I'll skip out and you guys can go. But good point, Becky. Okay, so I guess we'll just give you guys the notes. And if you guys want to go, we'll figure it out, make sure we don't have a quorum. So, all right. Work order requests submitted for discussion, none. Final budget numbers, none. Request ready for approval. Treasurer's office remodel, we've already talked about that.
Do we want an official approval?
We've already got the official approval.
But I mean, for formality's sake, do you want to?
Oh, do you guys want to officially approve the treasurer's office remodel that's starting in 8 days?
Sure.
And so, yeah, I need a motion to.
Okay.
Okay, he moves and then Dean seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we approve it. Let's
Awesome.
send it on.
It's official.
Hey, Jeff, go ahead and do what you're going to do.
I said it was a formality.
I get it. Yeah. No, then unfinished business, Allied Partners, we've talked about that. Everyone's really pretty excited about that. And then new business, Allied Partnership, Partners invoice, as an ARPA extension, discussion only. Do we need to discuss that?
No. Essentially, the full county board approved, the last invoice to push through ARPA. And I think in the discussions, we're just going to take it invoice by invoice as we have now and do the exact process we just did.
Okay, and then we're going to discuss it here and then send it on to the full board.
Correct.
Just so you guys know where the money's going, where we're spending the money, we'll look at them, approve them, send them on to finance and the full board, and And, it's already been approved through ARPA, but just so you
Formality.
guys know what's going on and where the money's going.
Yeah, and I'll have to do a budget action request form every time an invoice comes in.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. I guess we get to go to the back of the sheet. Yeah, the expenditure was 381,186.74, which we approved the other night at the county board meeting through ARPA. What? From ARPA. Yeah. And then executive session, if there's any requests for an executive session? No? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I got a question.
Oh, shoot.
The new courtroom that we're going to be doing, are they going to do that later, or are they going to start on that now, or?
Well, Doug and Alec are going to be calling me, and they're going to come down later this week or first part of next week to discuss the new courtroom. And so we can get the plans drawn up so we can get moving at. It's going to be very fast paced, so this is going to be something they're going to be moving on pretty quick. So
Okay.
they'd like to have the whole project done before June 1. And there's really not that much work to do for the
Courtroom.
courtroom. So, but we have to go over that. But yeah, they're coming down this week or first part of the next.
Hey, Tom, I got one more thing. Jack, what are the sign for the recycling down there? Where is that standing? Is it been,
Is that the
is
mess
the
that
new
we're
sign, is
keep
it the
on
new
having?
sign or is there a new sign up yet or?
Did we do that? Okay, I don't know if we did that. I think you were doing that, right?
We discussed it with
Dave, right?
David, and he said he was going to make a new sign. I haven't
okay.
seen if the new one's.
He's
up
at a,
there yet.
he does the signs down there, doesn't he?
I don't know if he does it down there, but he had it, yeah.
I'll
He's
ask
gonna-
Dave. I'll be with him tomorrow morning. I can ask Dave.
Okay, I was just curious. I was down there last week and nothing has changed. It's still, everybody's piling it. like-
Still a mess.
it was
Still
just-
junk down there.
Yeah, I mean, I went down after Christmas and the whole aisle was full out to the stairs, up to the top of the dumpsters. It was bad. And people were just throwing stuff on there.
I've coordinated with the, I'm forgetting the garbage company's name, but.
Midwest.
Midwest, yes, thank you. Coordinated with them, and as they were pulling one dumpster out, we were clearing a path for them so they could get in and then clearing the stuff off. So it sounds like there's somebody at the city that's also coming and helping clean that up a little bit. So just trying to do our part too. So
Sure.
How often do they dump those?
there's two dumpsters down there. They dump one on Monday, one on Wednesday, and both on Friday.
Okay. Because like I said, after Christmas, it's like nobody dumped them for
Yeah.
like 2 weeks. So,
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yep.
Second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thanks, guys.